Hey everyone, this is Dominic here with the Raving Hordes Game Club in Saskatoon. Today we have my Vampire Covenant versus Nathan's Dwarven Holds. We played 5,000 points. The scenario was counter thrust and capture the flag secondary. I chose my side and Nathan deployed first. So let's get right into it. Here's just a quick pick of deployment. Nathan has some clan marksmen. There's a ballista, a steamed copper, he's got the big block of greybeards with a Thane BSB. Right beside he's got Kingsguard with a king on the shield bearers. A little bit better pick. Right beside them he's got a big unit of Deep Watch with a runic smith. And beside that there's another unit of clan marksmen. There's an engineer beside an organ gun. And then right beside that there's a Vengeance Seeker that you can kind of see. There's also another ballista that's way off to the far flank. For my side, I've got a unit of Vampire Knights with a Vampire Courtier in there, followed by a varkolak, a big unit of ghouls in there. Then we have a Banshee. Right here we've got a unit of Barrow Guard with halberds. That's a bit better. There's a Barrow King in there. He's also got a halberd. And then there's also, I put my Vampire General in here. He's independent bloodline with this. There's a unit of Bat Swarm and a large brick of zombies. And then on the far flank over here we got 2 more Bat Swarms and a Vampire Spawn unit. Nathan took turn 1. Just a little bit close-up picture of some of his awesomely painted dwarves here. There's a picture of the deployment kind of thing. For terrain, we had a forest way over in the back here. There was a hill, another forest over here. We had a piece of impassable, a piece of impassable, a piece of impassable, and then a water feature. We didn't have a field, but this piece of paper here underneath the ballista is a field. So, into turn 1, I guess there were some vanguards as well. The copter had vanguarded up a little bit, and my varkolak had vanguarded up just into the edge of the forest here. So there wasn't really too much for Nathan's turn 1, just a little bit of moving and maneuvering. Moved up a little bit with some of the units and tried to do some shooting, which was completely ineffective, I think. Just rolled absolutely terribly on everything. The ballistas didn't do anything, the handgunners didn't do anything, and I think the organ gun might have peeled off like 1 or 2 wounds on the vampire spawn over here. Not a whole lot. So into my turn 1, I moved up the varkolak just to the flank of the clan's marksman, as well as there's the copter that's just on the other side there as well. And then I moved up my knights just at the edge of the forest. Now these guys have the Strider banner, so I really wasn't worried about charging through the trees here. And I was just going to see what he was going to do and pick my targets, as I had some really good targets back here to easily just run right through. Elsewhere, I just kind of moved up, just getting closer to the center a little bit. On the far left, or the far right, I suppose, I moved up really aggressively with the vampire spawn, just getting right in the face of this ballista over here. My plan actually wasn't even to attack the ballista. I was hoping that he'd take his Vengeance Seeker this way, just to get him away from the field, because I didn't really want to deal with him with anything that was on this side, and I just wanted to fight that half. So as you see, into Nathan's turn 2 here, he responded by moving the clan's marksman over here, moved up the gyrocopter over here, just to kind of face the varkolak. Kind of ignored the knights there. Not entirely certain why. Probably thought that the knights didn't have the banner there, but you don't take knights without it. So Elsewhere, magic really wasn't really doing much for either of us for most of the game. So it didn't really have anything of really big importance for anything. I'm not skipping over it intentionally there. So shooting, I think he peeled off some zombies. Right here, he peeled off some more wounds on the vampire spawn over here. And he did move his Vengeance Seeker over here, which was exactly what I was hoping he would do. My turn 2, the varkolak just bypassed everything, charged into the ballista. The knights charged into the clan marksman. I tried to make some charges. These bats on the side here tried to charge the organ gun but failed. These guys charged those handgunners, took a little bit coming in, but my hope was I could just hold them up there forever. Moved up the other set of bats to chaff the I guess deep watch up here. Just I didn't need them to quickly charge the flank of those zombies and just finish them off right away. Elsewhere, there was just some slight moving up. The vampire spawn, as you can see, there's a couple missing there. They moved up, just left that entire side, came up over here. There's a little better picture. Yeah, there's the failed charges, and just leaving the Vengeance Seeker all alone over there. In combat, I wipe out the ballista and I just pivot on the spot, and then I do a bunch of wounds to the handgunners. They flee, they don't actually go off the table, they're right there, and then I overrun into the, or I guess pursue into the copter. Just got out of arc as well with the charge. In combat over here, they did a couple wounds to me, surprisingly. We just didn't do anything back. In my magic phase, I did raise a unit of zombies up here, just for some extra chaff to throw away. And then just a quick shot of the battlefield going into turn 3. On his turn 3, he brings the Vengeance Seeker back over here. He charged the... what are they here? There they charged the Deep Watch into the bats. Magic didn't do too terribly much. In combat, I wipe out the copter. These guys actually rallied, so they're just sitting there. He changed the Greybeards to face the vampires over here. He does have a spell on there. I think it was Rune of Reckoning, or Rune of Revocation. Combat continues to peel away at the zombies. The Deep Watch kill the bats, overrun into these raised zombies, and then into my turn 3. So both of these vampire units just come crashing in. The big unit of Barrow Guard decide to go into the flank of the Deep Watch. I was a little bit worried about that because then of course I gave up my flank to him here, which I didn't want to do, and I knew that this guy was going to be there forever, but I needed to start peeling off some wounds, and no better time than a flank charge. So they go in. Both these bats go into here. The vampire spawn were on this side of the organ gun. They charged over top and hit the engineer. The Banshee moved up around here, just not really doing much in this game at all. Missed one there. In this combat over here, I did a bunch of wounds. These guys actually killed the engineer and overran to the flank, so we did a bunch of wounds, but he stuck. We challenged his rune smith, or runic priest, I guess, with the White King, or Barrow King. I think I did 2 wounds to him in that one, but he managed to stay, didn't do anything back. I took a few wounds to the Barrow Guard, and that was pretty much it. He didn't actually wipe out, he wiped out all but one of the zombies at the end here, so there was still 1 zombie, I think, left at the end of the day. Yeah, and only one of these guys was alive to make it into the flank. In that combat he actually killed. Here he continued to whittle me down, and in the far one with the Greybeards over here, I just I peeled off a bunch of wounds, but he's steadfast, leadership 10, re-rolling, so he's going to be there for a while. On his turn 4, he charges the King's Guard into the front, because I actually decided to give this unit my flank and then face him here to use my halberds and better initiative to just swing away at him. The Vengeance Seeker charged into the bat combat with the Oregon gun, and right there we're pretty much locked in. Shooting, he tried to shoot the Banshee with the remaining ballista, missed, peeled off a couple wounds from the ghouls with those rallied Clan's marksmen. Let's see here. Combat does some wounds. The Vengeance Seeker actually whiffs pretty hard. I did suffer some casualties, but nothing to really crumble me outright. And they just stick there. These guys continue to pick away. I think they might have actually killed the zombies completely this turn. I can't remember. This one here, we do a bunch of wounds, but I end up losing. I guess here's this one happened first. Again, we peeled off some more wounds in this combat. Sticks. I suffered some wounds. The varkolak gained his back from vampiric. The knights did not. And then yeah, into this big combat here. I finished off the rune smith in the challenge, and then I continued attacking. My vampire was on the flank. He attacked this way. His king actually attacked my vampire, but whiffed completely. I think he actually did cause 2 wounds, but I saved them both with a 4-up Aegis. This combat was pretty bloody there. As you can see, I guess, yeah, didn't really take one of that one. But he did kill the remaining zombies, crumbled out the vampire spawn, did a bunch of wounds to me. But I'm still there. They're stubborn with the king. So they're going to be there for a long time. In my turn 4, the ghouls charge the flank of the King's Guard. Everything else was pretty much locked in. The Banshee, I don't think I took a picture of it, but it walked through the marksman that had just finished off the zombies they were fighting. Caused a single wound and then screamed at it. I think I caused another one with that. Oh yeah, he had a spell off here before his smith had died. The reroll failed to hit rolls on the Deep Watch. Into this combat here, into that combat phase, I guess. Yeah, there's that mess going on right there with the Banshee and the fight with the Vengeance Seeker. Just tying that up, that's fine. Over here, we continue to fight away, cause some more wounds. He sticks again. Over here, he finishes off the bats with Crumble and turns that Vengeance Seeker to face into this mess. In this combat, the Barrow Guard just go to town. I had raised a bunch of wounds back in the magic phase, and then I got back down to pretty much where I was at that one as well. The White King, or Barrow King, I guess, issued a challenge against his Dwarven King. He caused 2 wounds to me. I caused no wounds to him, but it keeps him out. The Vampire whiffed, didn't cause a single wound to the Deep Watch. And yeah, just the main unit here just went to work, though. As you see, there's not very many King's Guard left. And then again, I think we just went straight into his next turn. Didn't have a lot. This fight continues to go on. Over here, he actually moved the Vengeance Seeker, decided not to go into this guy, and he actually moved him over here a little bit, kind of thing. This fight, I actually missed a bit of a picture, we'll go back to this one here. This fight, I end up winning, finally this turn, down to just 1 Greybeard and Thane BSB. I win, he breaks, the Knights chase him down, the varkolak pivots on the spot to face the Thunders, or the Clan Marksmen that are back here. Chase them down, they're over into this fight now, into, let's see here, this fight. I finish off the King's Guard, and In the challenge, he kills the king, but I kill his king. I caused 1 lethal strike and 1 regular wound that he didn't armor save and he didn't ward save, or Aegis save, and multiple wounds 2 against standard size, so just toasts them off. Because of that, the Deep Watch over here, they actually break from combat. They get away, but now they're facing this side, and I continue to chase them this way. The ghouls decided just to stick and stay. They didn't really have anything that they were really doing at this point. Yeah, so there's that. At the end of this, there you see the fleas. In my turn, or his turn 6, I think maybe turn, no, because that was his turn. His turn 5. So my turn 5, I charged into the Vengeance Seeker with the Barrow Guard, as well as the Vampire Knights, just hoping to get the overrun into the Organ Gun, as well as the overrun into the fleeing Deep Watch, which of course happens, leaving these guys destroyed, the Knights overran past onto the hill, and there's that single ballista that's way over here off the screen, and then there's some clan marksmen that are right here as well. In his 6, I don't think I've got any more pictures of that. Oh yeah, and I also charged the Last Thunders over here. They actually caused 2 wounds with the stand and shoot, I believe, and then another wound in combat, but he broke and ran away. I chased him off. I didn't even chase him off the board. I didn't need to. And then, of course, over here, my turn 6 was the charge from the varkolak. These guys charge the ballista, easily make it and destroy that thing, and then the King's Guard charge the last remaining dwarves on the field. Don't actually cause a lot of wounds, and at the end of turn 6, I think he had 5 dwarves left here, and that was the end of the game. Yeah, so there's the ballista that was way off in the middle of nowhere. That one died. That was a battle. It was pretty good, pretty bloody. Ended in a 17-3 victory for the vampires. I did capture the secondary objective as well, so went to a 20-0 victory. For our league, we actually award extra victory points for a fully painted army. So Nathan got 2 extra victory points for that, as well as we award extra victory points for every 5,000 points above 45, or every 500 points above 45 that you play. So each of us got an extra point for there, leaving the final score of 21-3. It was a really good game. Nathan's always a great opponent to play against, and look forward to the next battle and bringing you guys another report. Thanks. Bye.